get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Welcome back to the series of book synopsis, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. We have completed the 13th chapter, entering into the 14th chapter. And the 14th chapter name is The Secret of Socrates. The Secret of Socrates. So what we learn from this chapter? We learn how to make other person say yes, yes to you immediately. Yes, to explain you this, I will take you into this chapter. Dale Carnegie says, begin a conversation with a common point where two parties will agree. Here what happens, you will automatically get yes, yes responses from the other party. If the meeting has started with no, no responses, it will end with no, no only. If the meeting started with yes, yes responses, it will end positively. So Dale Carnegie has given a couple of examples in this chapter. One is about yes, yes technique. So we need to use this yes, yes technique, and he talks about Socrates. Socrates is a great philosopher who can make every person say yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. He has that much of capability where he can change the thoughts of minds of the people. That much of capability he has. So Dale Carnegie further says this yes, yes technique has been enabled by Mr. Emerson, who used to work for a bank as a teller, where he used to meet different types of customers daily. And usually when customers comes to the bank, will be given a form, unusual form, where they need to fill all the things to get a savings account. And Emerson's work is to explain the customers to fill this form. And one customer was really irritated and irate and doesn't want to fill everything. And he used to get these kind of customers daily. And Emerson has created his own way to talk to the people to get yes, yes responses. He used to ask a question, "Sir, what do you say? Is it a good idea to transfer each and every bank details or bank money to the other person in case of your death?" He would say yes. "Sir, is it a good idea to give the name of the nominee where we can do these transfers and all these things without any delays and errors? What do you say?" He would say yes. After getting yes, 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 yes responses, the customer used to be with him and used to fill each and every detail in the form to get the savings account. So most of the people would be happy with him because he used to get yes, yes responses, where customers would be getting their savings account happily without any irritation or annoyed moments. Coming to next example about Mr. Allison. Mr. Allison used to work for an electric motor company, where they used to sell motors to the factories, and he used to have a subordinate in a territory. In that territory, that subordinate was back of one company, one factory. Around 10 years he used to call those people without selling anything. At lastly, Allison came to this territory and taken charge. And he also started calling the same factory for 3 years. After 3 years, he got a small order where he has sold a couple of motors to that company, where that company replied, "If these motors will work good, we will take hundreds of motors." And Allison was really happy. "Oh my God, everything will be good and everything will happen good." And after 3 weeks later, Allison called the company people to check how our motors are working, and he got a strange reply from them saying that your motors are really heating too much and we cannot touch it at all. And we are telling you one thing is, we don't want to go ahead with the motors with the reminded order. We don't want to buy more motors from your company. And Allison was shocked and said, why? Because your motors are too heat. And Allison knows the technique, yes, yes technique. And he started asking questions to that person. He asked, according to the Electrical Manufacturing Association, we need to give these motors, we need to run these motors into 72 degrees Fahrenheit, isn't it? And that fellow replied, yes, absolutely right. So I would like to ask one more question to you, sir. What is your room temperature? He said 75 degrees Fahrenheit. 75 degrees plus 72 degrees. Both together is 147 degrees. And you are running your motor into 147 degrees. And you are talking about touching the motors. Is it possible, sir? Absolutely no, right? He said, yes. Then how come, sir? Why don't you place these motors in a cool place and run? There is no fault in motor, sir. There is a fault in room temperature. Why don't you understand? And they have lot of conversation like this for a long time, and then they come to a conclusion, and that company person called the secretary and had a business of $30,000 to Allison. See, the technique of yes works really well. So always use this technique, yes. Make the other person say yes immediately. This is the principle of this chapter. Make the other person say yes immediately. This is all about this chapter, the secret of Socrates. The secret of Socrates. Until then, Lakshmikant signing out. We'll meet again next chapter.